A great ball game here today at Wrigley Field. The Cubs come back after a tough error by Kyle Schwarber. They battle back and they have beaten the Nationals. 2-1 your final, 2-4-4. Still is a whole lot better than 1-3-1. And welcome in here. We're at the Brick House overlooking the park at Wrigley, right outside the venerable ballpark with David DeJesus. I'm David Kaplan. All right, we've been on the edge of our seat, finally standing like every other fan going, you've got to be kidding me. I felt terrible for Schwarber. The Cubs battle and find a way.
This is a battle-tested team. You saw the run last year they had to do. They came back from 3-1 situations, and today they picked up Kyle Schwarber. Man, he was down. You saw him just running to the locker room there, screaming. You know he was feeling down. His teammates picked him up. Big hits all over the field. Nothing bigger than Anthony Rizzo's drop-in game winner right there.
Yeah, and we'll get to all of the highlights. Obviously, the big story behind the win is Max Scherzer had a no-hitter going. He was magnificent, and at 98 pitches with a man on, Dusty said, all right, ask the catcher. Max is pleading. You could see, I want to stay in the ball game. Yeah. Dusty went to the catcher. He's like, nope, that's it. We're done. Wow. You're out. And then Scherzer, none too happy when that run was played on the Albert Almora hit.
For sure. You saw him pacing in the dugout right there. He wanted to be in that game. You know, it's just one of those situations where the guys didn't step up for him, and they made Albert Almora. That is a quality at bat off the bench in a key situation. Love seeing up and him making those plays.
Yeah, big time job by Albert Almora. Let's go to our fan poll question. All right, our fan poll question is, who is the MVP of today's ball game for the Cubs? A lot of choices. Almora, Edwards, who did a great job, John Jay, who made 2 magnificent plays, Jose Quintana, or obviously Anthony Rizzo with the game-winning hit. You can go a number of ways. Wow. And let me just tell you, folks, Carl Edwards is only going to show up for 1 inning in the box score. He came in and he got Bryce Harper, and Joe said, same situation, I will not hesitate to use him, and he did.
And he trusted his fastball. That was the thing. He used his fastball he started him off with a curveball, then went fastball after that. And so he trusted his fastball, and that's when Carl Edwards is at his best. That's when his curveball looks even harder, is when he's throwing that fastball.
Yeah, when he sets his breaking ball up, when he relies too heavily on it, you spin one and it gets hit 9 miles on you by a great player like Bryce Harper.
You got to lose. 96 is not easy to hit. If you're putting it where you want to, then you go to the curveball, and that makes it so much tougher to hit.
Right. It was a whale of a ball game. A lot of strategy in this ball game. You know, Dusty is going to be second-guessed by the Washington media, by the fan base, for taking Scherzer out at 98 pitches when he'd given up exactly 1 hit, and Scherzer wanted to stay in. But the catcher, I don't know what the catcher, and I'm really anxious to hear what Matt Wieters said to Dusty out there, because Dusty said, how's he throwing? Wieters said something, and Dusty went, done, I'm going to the bullpen.
It was like right after Matt Wieters said something, he was like that.
That's it.
That's it. So I don't know if it was because of Matt Wieters or he was going out there with the intention of taking him out. Because if he had the intention of taking him out right away, he would have went out there and thrown that hand up right away.
Right.
But he wanted to hear, then he heard from Matt Wieters, and that was it.
Right.
So,
Max, can you get this guy? How do you feel? I'm fine. I can get this guy. Matt, how's the ball coming out of his hand? I don't know. We're speculating because it was as soon as how's the ball coming out of his hand, you're Matt Wieters to make a response, and he went, okay, lefty, let's go. We're done.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough to take him out in that situation. 98 pitches. You know Max Scherzer can go deeper into ball games, but with that hamstring, they might have said, all right, 98 is enough.
All right, our Gerber Collision and Glass play of the game. This is easy, folks. Anthony Rizzo with that 9-iron to left center, and that ball drops in. That plates the game-winning run from Leonis Martin.
You couldn't have thrown it any better. I love the John Jay bunt, moved him over, and then Chris Bryant, he got struck out. That was a tough at-bat. And he pitched him really well, but it's picking your guy, the next in line, picking the player in front of you up. Rizzo did a job, stayed inside of it, and Rizzo's at his best when he's going the other way with pitches.
Yeah, what I loved is Okay, so Rizzo rounds first hard, and he gets caught between. Gets caught in the run out. He's out, and then he turns and goes, "This is my house."
I mean,
it was
that's emotion.
Magnificent emotion.
Oh, that's playoff emotion. You can't beat that.
That is exceptionally organic.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just a moment. It happens. But I got to ask you, you played center field for 13 years. You've been an outfielder. How does Michael Taylor not lay out for that ball? This is a playoff game.
Oof, you know, that's going to be talked about as well. They're going to go to him and be like, hey, why did the center fielder's in charge out there? You have to take a call early and go ahead and dive for that because someone has to dive. You can't just, that's the Bermuda Triangle, as you call it. And someone has to lay out. And it has to be the center fielder because he's in charge.
It was just amazing to see that ball out there. It was like, last year in Cleveland in the World Series, there was a ball flared by Addy to right center, and Tyler Naquin, and I'm trying to remember who the other outfielder was at the time. Maybe Lonnie Chisenhall. They both kind of pulled up.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to take charge and make a play.
Yeah, that's it.
Because that ball should have been caught.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor had every chance to lay out and make the play, and he's quick. He's a good outfielder, and they all – you got it. Okay, you got it. And then the ball's down, and ball game's over.
The game's over because when Wade Davis gets into this game, you know he was on point again. This is the second time in the playoffs that this guy has come into the game and has dominated the hitters 1, 2, 3 innings.
All right, well, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The error by Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah.
I mean, a horrific error, and then he compounded it. Ball off the wall, then he booted it, ends up a triple, and then Zimmerman gets to hit the plate that one run. And at the time, it looked like a massive run. We didn't know if the Cubs would come back at that point, obviously. Schwarber looked like he did not either, I'm not going to say not hustle, didn't sprint after that ball. I kind of just assumed it was going to be there.
Yeah.
Wrigley Field, balls carry, man.
No, that was a Cadillac. Sometimes as an outfielder, you're running, you see it, you know you can get to it, and you'll glide to it, as you call it. But Kyle Schwarber's not experienced enough to be able to do that. When lefties hit that ball down the line, it's going to start hooking towards the line. And he didn't trust himself to get there. He tried to reach out at the last moment and hit the top of the glove. There is no one happier in the whole park than Kyle Schwarber tonight.
Yeah, he's going to be, guys, thank you for picking me up. That's on me, and it won't happen again.
Yeah.
All right, our Elk Grove Village pitching recap. Let's take a look at the numbers. And both guys were magnificent.
Yeah.
Jose Quintana probably wanted to stay in the ballgame.
Yeah.
They went to Strop, and he gave up the double to Zimmerman. I personally would have left Quintana in.
Yeah.
He was dealing.
Yeah.
He's a young kid. He's 28, 29. He could have easily gone 115 pitches for me. I'm not asking him to throw 150, but for me, he had another inning in him at least. Joe made the move to Strop and gave up the double.
Yeah, he just Strop left it. It was supposed to be a pitch down and away. In playoff situations, you keep seeing it over and over. Guys trying to do too much, the ball leaks over the plate, and that's what Ryan Zimmerman wants. A mistake pitch, he's going to do at best when he's driving it the other way. But it's all about coming back to picking your teammates up. Next inning, Carl Edwards came the next inning, came and did his job. So it's all about just doing your job and picking each other up, and that's what the Cubs did tonight.
All right, so that is our pitching recap. Because Scherzer was spectacular.
Yeah.
You know, whether they had to shoot his hamstring up or he took 500 to leave or whatever he did, that guy was a man today.
I mean, that guy was putting it where he wanted to put it, mixing in his changeup, his curveball, and that little cutter in there. So he was just had the hitters all backwards and forwards.
Yeah,
and
off balance
they were
the
just
whole
they
day.
didn't know what to do, and that's what an ace does. And unfortunately, he doesn't get the win for that. Great job, buddy, but sorry.
Yeah, great pitching from both you guys. Neither of you figure in the decision, but
Exactly.
for Scherzer, he's got a 1-0 lead. He's thinking, hey, man, we're getting out of this, and I'm not coming out of this game. And Dusty said, wow, going to the lefty.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's going to be a talked about strategic move. Do you blame Dusty for making the move? I have to know, before I can answer that, what Matt Wieters said to him at the mound.
Exactly. That's the really thing, because Matt Wieters is catching him. He's seeing the velocity. There was points in the game where Max Scherzer was throwing some wild pitches. He was in on Brian a couple times and missed a few wide.
But then,
but then he would come and bring it back over the plate. So maybe what Matt saw something out of his release that he just wasn't right. So that's the first question we have to answer. After that,
if Wieters said he's throwing great, and Dusty said, I'm making the change, and both guys had lobbied to stay in, then Dusty's going to get some criticism, and it's probably deserved.
Yes.
But if Matt Wieters said, Skip, I don't know how it's coming out of the hands.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then you cannot blame Dusty.
Exactly.
You can blame Sammy Solis, who did not do his job.
Yeah, he's got to come in, and you can't be hanging slider to Almora there. You know, he tried to attack, got behind, and Almora is at his best when he's ahead in the count, hunting a fastball.
All right, and then he gave up a hit to Hayward on top of it.
Exactly.
All right, we got to take our first time out. We got a whole lot more to do. You'll hear from Joe Madden. You'll hear from the key guys. Kelly Krull is in the locker room. It's all coming up. Cubs win at Game 3. They have a 2-1 series lead. They'll try and advance to the NLDS for the third straight year tomorrow. I'll be right back.
Cubs Postgame Live is presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all.
So, thought you could use something special, you know, for retirement. One last trip through the toy store.
Funny, after all we've been through, this may be my first case of the nerves.
Oh, relax, Agent. I've kept you healthy this long.
Yes, you have, but come tomorrow, your protection may not be there.
I don't see you slowing down anytime soon. Here, take this.
So, you saved the best for last.
The obesity amongst kids is very widespread. Some of these babies, they can't even run. It is heartbreaking to me.
Sugared soda is contributing to an epidemic of childhood obesity and diabetes.
These kids are facing adult problems. Around the church, you ought to see the dialysis centers that are popping up. The soda companies are targeting these kids, and we need to protect them. I can minister to these kids, but I can't cure them. The soda pop tax is the right thing to do.
Inside the rack houses of Jim Beam, thousands of barrels lay silent. But that doesn't mean they lay idle. In fact, inside each and every Jim Beam barrel, the bourbon is aging, building a fuller, smoother flavor that only comes from being aged 4 long years. At Jim Beam, our history's made from the inside. How will you make yours?
It's a scary time of year. Just wait until you get your heating bill. Call Feldco to replace your drafty old windows.
Call 866 for Feldco.
Right now at Feldco, get 2 windows for the price of 1 with no money down and no interest until 2019.
2 windows for the price of 1 and soon. Call now. For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
Everyone loves a dinner party until it's time for the cleanup. With the Bosch dishwasher, you'll make short work of even the largest piles of post-party dishes. With the innovative My Way rack, which offers the industry's largest third rack capacity without losing space on the lower racks, lets you get more dishes cleaned per load. And Bosch is America's quietest dishwasher brand, so you won't even know it's running in the background. See the complete lineup of Bosch dishwashers at Abt, pleasing people since 1936.
Only one light beer has more taste, less calories, and half the carbs. This one. Miller Lite. Hold true.
All right, time for Who's Hot and Who's Not. Brought to you by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Cooling, and Plumbing. Well, Yuli Gurriel is a guy who's hot as his club has advanced to the American League Championship Series. Xander Bogaerts, not so much. Boston, out, done, beaten by Houston, who came back on Chris Sale and Craig Kimbrell today to win that ball game.
Yes, that was a crazy game, up and down game. They brought in Verlander, Sale. Both teams wanted to win. Big hits by Houston late, pulled them over top.
All right, here's Dusty Baker, brought to you by our friends at Xfinity. Take a listen.
The decision was it to pull Max when you did?
Well, it was very difficult, but, you know, we thought Max had had enough, especially coming off the injury. And, you know, Schwarber's a dangerous man. I probably couldn't have lived with myself if Schwarber, you know, had hit one out of the park on you, which is dangerous to do that. So we thought, you know, we made the right decision. You know, he got a change up to Almora, and, you know, that was, you know, they continue to get the clutch hits, and, you know, we haven't gotten them yet, but we will.
Justin. Following up, Dusty, you said you had thought Max had enough. I mean, he had a no-hitter until that last batter. Was there something you had seen leading up to?
No, but I mean, he was at 100 pitches and he hadn't been that far, in a while. And like I said, Schwarber's a dangerous hitter. If we made the pitch, then we wouldn't be talking about it. But this, just sometimes you can't throw the ball where you want to throw it.
Dusty, when you took Max out, was another potential choice to go with Kinsler, who has reverse splits, and go after Schwarber?
No, because that wasn't even a consideration, because you
want to get Schwarber out.
Yes, and then also, Kinsler, throws that sinker, and Schwarber likes the ball away from him. I've seen him hit that ball in left field seats many, many times. And so we thought that was, the right decision.
And back, Bill. One other decision there. When you went to Perez, what other option might you have had?
Well, the other option might have been to walk him, and then pitch to Contreras. But Contreras is, like early in the series, like I said, Perez is really dangerous with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. And so you got to pick one of the two, and he blooped the ball in there. It's not like he, it was a clean hit, but it was a blooper, and I thought that we had a chance to catch it.
All right, there's Dusty Baker. So nobody asked yet that, hey, what did Matt Wieters say to you? It was, what did you see? Why did you take him out? And he said, I thought he'd had enough. Schwarber's very dangerous. Yeah, Schwarber is dangerous. But I'll tell you what, I would prefer to have Max Scherzer on 98 pitches with a shot-up hamstring against Schwarber than Sammy Solis with a 5+ ERA against Albert Almora, who's really had a good second half of the season.
Exactly. Albert Almora rakes lefties, so that doesn't make sense. I think he's kind of trying to cover himself up there because Max Scherzer, the best pitcher, and he's probably going to win the Cy Young.
For his third time in 5 years.
Exactly, 98 pitches. He still had, I felt he was overmatching Kyle Schwarber throughout the game. So it's not like he had it going on that good against, Schwarber had it going on.
All right, we'll get to more of this to the field. Kelly is with Wade Davis.
All right, Wade, well, I want to take us back to the start of this game. You're out there in the bullpen with the rest of the guys. You're watching Scherzer deal. You're watching Quintana deal. What was the thought going through everyone's mind kind of as to how this game was unfolding?
It's such a good lineup. You really gotta work your way through it and make good pitches, and we've done a really good job of it so far this series, and if we can keep that going, we're gonna be all right.
I know you've been in playoff baseball before, but here at Wrigley, this was kind of your first experience in terms of being in the Cubs uniform. What do you think?
Oh, it's great. The fans definitely keep us motivated, and that's the name of the game, and I'm loving it.
Describe your emotions as you close out a very critical. You know how Game 3 can really shift a series. What are you feeling right now?
I feel great. A lot of intensity, tons of support, and the boys coming back and putting up some runs late in the game is huge.
Last but not least, Jose Quintana. I know you sometimes get to talk to him here and there, but this was his first playoff start. What do you think?
He's a gamer, man. You've seen him pitch in some big games already this year, and watching him go out and do that today that's exactly what we need.
Wade Davis, enjoy this one. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right, so there's Wade Davis, who did his job, ended the ball game, but we got to talk about Jose Quintana, because Jose Quintana, you pitched like a Rolls Royce, my man. He deserves all the plaudits he's going to get. There were a lot of us, me included, that questioned, is this guy worth the price that the Cubs paid? Well, in the biggest start of his life, he stepped up and was magnificent today. So, Jose Quintana, you are elite, buddy.
Wow, that was a special start. He took that Brewers start at the end of the season and kept it rolling, kept the momentum coming into today's game. It was unbelievable to see his precision on his pitches, the way he moved in and out, up and down in the zone. He just had command of his pitches today and was confident every time he was stepping to throw that ball. So nothing better than a first time going 5 2/3, 2 hits against one of the best hitting teams in the National League. That's a heck of a start, man.
So you're starting pitching Kyle Hendricks, John Lester, Jose Quintana, and each guy gave up 2 hits.
I mean,
it's amazing.
Best in baseball right now. You haven't, in every other series, you've never seen 3 starters go out and dominate a game like the Cubs 3 have done so far.
They have been magnificent. Quintana was really good at changing his speeds. Let's go back inside the clubhouse. Here's Ben Zobrist.
Mistakes, we just, as a team, the mantra is so what, now what?
You said relentless. Is that the best word you can use?
I mean, I don't have a thesaurus, but that's a good one, I think. Yeah. I mean, as a team, we don't quit. That's the other thing Albert said outside is we never quit. That's one of the mantras we think and talk about as a team too. And we proved that we have that kind of mettle in our system last year, and there's more to it. We have more games to play and more times to do that. So we were able to do it today.
You said that position several times before. One was closer game away from advancing. What is that like?
We anticipate, we're eager, we're excited for the moment. But there's still work to do. We still have to execute and focus. And coming off a great game today, we're going to enjoy this. Enjoy it for 30 and then get back to work and get excited and ready for tomorrow.
How important is it to wrap it up tonight? After you got that double, but also to break up the no-hitter. But the play you made at second there and in the next inning after the area had a really.
Yeah, I mean, the best way to describe it for me is just the energy of the stadium. Feeling personally pumped up in that moment. You really can't hold it in. So it's just it's a great moment in the game when you can make a play and feel like you're really helping your team out. And fortunately, I was able to do that offensively and defensively.
How important is it to wrap it up tomorrow night?
It's important. We know that having our home crowd behind us playing here at Wrigley, we anticipate it being an exciting environment. We want to close it out, the series here. It's always more fun to celebrate at home than it is on the road. So, but we're focused on the game itself, not the celebration. So we're focused on doing our job, and hopefully we can come out the victor tomorrow night.
How about the lifting off from Quintana for his playoff debut?
It was phenomenal. I mean, the guy, it was very clutch, the way that he handled himself first time coming out. You got to believe there's a little bit of butterflies there, and having never pitched in the postseason, and he just proved that he's a gamer, and he proved that too when he came over his first start when he came over against Baltimore. He shoved then too. So he's been looking great lately. Looked great even in sim games last week, and he pitched great again today. So hopefully we can get him out there again.
All right, our James & Sons Fine Jewelers fielding gem, Ben Zobrist. Magnificent play. I mean spectacular at second base.
He made an error earlier in the game, just a basic error. But as the Cubs keep seeing these guys bounce back, and what a full dive, Ben Zobrist, 36-year-old Ben making a play. It was special.
Yeah, it was special. People went on Twitter, because I was living on Twitter during the game, and they went, great play, Javi. I mean, Ben. It was funny. Awesome. 2 pieces of business we got to address. One, Wilson Contreras is putting out these shirts right here. Very, very cool. And 50% of the money goes to help people struggling in Venezuela. The other 50% go to people here through Rags of Honor. It's a military fundraiser. And so Wilson asked if we would please mention the shirts. ragsofhonor.us is where you can get this cool shirt, and you can help a lot of people in need. Staying on the Wilson Contreras side of things, I love your T-shirt. I don't like your throw down to first base. We saw it earlier in the year, and then he backed off. Daniel Murphy was not Trey Turner. My heart was in my mouth when that ball went boom, and Rizzo kind of caught it, staggered back, and then tagged the bag. Holy smokes, Wilson, you're killing me there, dude.
We were here. Everyone at the bar was, oh. And then Rizzo caught it. It was okay. But, yeah, man, just chill it out, relax, nice, firm throw, but don't throw 100 plus.
Yeah,
don't throw 100 plus.
You don't have to be chapped. Just settle down. Not so hard. Let's go to Joe Madden, brought to you by Xfinity.
Hi. What up? How you doing, guys? Okay, questions for Joe? Down here in the front.
Bruce.
The mic.
Is that working? Yeah.
Joe, you often say they're not all oil paintings, but somehow you got this one done.
It's true. I mean, we got it done because our pitching was so good, quite frankly. I mean, their guy, give Scherzer a lot of credit, man. To come off that injury like he did and pitch as well as he did, that's pretty phenomenal. That was phenomenal. And then our guy matched him, which we needed tonight. You had to match that great pitching performance with another one, and we did. And then we got a couple knocks late to get the game in our favor. But that was really an exceptionally well done performance by both pitchers. We made mistakes. We made some errors, but then we made some great plays. We made a couple base running gaffes. Part of it is just guys possibly trying a little bit too hard. But at the end of the day, you'll always take that effort, always.
Yes, sir. Joe, you talked about the starting pitching and how good it was. Was there a different feeling in your dugout when Scherzer came out, and do you imagine there was a different feeling in the other one when Quintana came out?
You know, it was just a matter of matchups. I don't know that there was a different feeling. Just presented differently to us. I mean, Schwarber right there obviously was set it up before the game that if that were to happen, that was going to be a spot against the lefty, and it just happened. I didn't necessarily feel anything differently. I mean, I'm certain that, you know, based on his injury and everything, he was not going to go much further than that anyhow. But no, I didn't feel anything necessarily different.
Joe,
Yes, sir.
it was a bloop single this time.
Yes, sir.
But does Rizzo seem to be one of those guys who just has a knack to get the hit at the right time?
There's some guys that are like that, and because I think a big reason, he uses the whole field. I mean, he's not always trying to pull the baseball. When he's not going well, he's in the pull mode. When he's using the whole field, that's when he's normally pretty good. Now, they have to respect, you know, the wind and his power. They're playing a little bit more deeply, and that's permitted that ball to fall in. A lesser, smaller, less strong hitter probably would have been caught. But that's the thing I appreciate about Riz, the choke up, the oppo, willingness to go to the opposite field. That's why he's so good. I mean, beyond, you know, he's got natural ability, but I mean, as an offensive player, he could hit the ball in the seats, and then again, he could hit you a blooper line drive to left. That's what needs to be nurtured more, and I really love his approach.
Phil.
Yes, sir.
Joe, how big was that 8th inning from Carl Edwards Jr., and just did you have to talk to him at all yesterday or before the game to get over the game 2?
Honestly, not. I talked to him. I patted him on the plane the other night. I just said, "Hey, man, we're good," and he smiled, so I knew he was fine. I watched him yesterday at our little brunch outside, and I saw him talking with his family and everybody. He looked good. I did hear some of the things that some of our guys had said. Perfect. Regarding just maintaining his confidence. It happens. Everybody knows it happens. If you play in this game long enough, stuff like that happens. But he's got tremendous talent, and he came back in pretty much the same part of the batting order and did it again. Did a little bit better tonight. Just did not make the mistake. I'm really happy for him. I mean, seriously, because that's something you don't want a kid to carry with him too far. This kid's such a big part of our future, and he's going to be dynamite for so many years. So, bully for him.
All right, time for our Jim Beam winning box score, and this one belongs to the Cubs. Looked dire for a while when it was 1-0. The Cubs get it done. Look, Schwarber didn't have his best day, but his teammates picked him up, and that's what really great teams do. Anthony Rizzo has the big game-winning hit. Ben Zobrist had the double. He had the magnificent defensive play. He scored the tying run. Everybody did their part.
It's great to see.
Tommy Lostello took a walk. Leonis Martin scored on the play.
Scored.
Just everybody doing something.
And it wasn't, you didn't rely on the 2, 3, 4. The big guy, Rizzo got a big knock. But it wasn't only just those 3 guys. It's great when the Cubs are at their best, when the whole lineup is doing something.
Yep, they lengthen the
Yes.
lineup. All right, we've got to take another timeout. We still got more to do. It's a festive atmosphere outside Wrigley. We're at the Brick House. Great spot. You want to try this place. Food awesome. We had a great time out here. We'll be here again tomorrow. Quick timeout. We'll be right back. This is University of Illinois.
In 1975, we brewed the original light beer with more taste and only 96 calories. We think that's worth celebrating. Miller Lite, back in the original bottle.
Your official Rolex jeweler is James & Sons in Chicago, Orland Park, and Cherville.
This is more than a bundle. This is more than a combo deal. It's your sanctuary, your home court. It's where everything happens. This is your home, your car, your memories. And you want to be sure they're protected with home and auto insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. It's why I'm here.
Here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
Inside the rack houses of Jim Beam, thousands of barrels lay silent. But that doesn't mean they lay idle. In fact, inside each and every Jim Beam barrel, the bourbon is aging, building a fuller, smoother flavor that only comes from being aged 4 long years. At Jim Beam, our history's made from the inside. How will you make yours?
It's a scary time of year. Just wait until you get your heating bill. Call Feldco to replace your drafty old windows.
Call 866 for Feldco.
Right now at Feldco, get 2 windows for the price of 1 with no money down and no interest until 2019.
2 windows for the price of 1 ends soon. Call now. For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
Now, legendary BMW performance for less than you think when you buy or lease a certified pre-owned BMW at Canals BMW. With special offers on a great selection of BMW models, each one passing a rigorous certification process and backed by a protection plan for ultimate peace of mind. Our certified pre-owned BMW sales event is here at Canals BMW, Route 41, Lake Bluff.
Cubs fans, show your team pride with Cubs checking and an official Cubs MasterCard debit card. I've got one, only available at your local Wintrust community bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. Member FDIC. Our UPS store taking care of business. Player of the game. Go a lot of ways with this one, folks, but we're going to go Jose Quintana. This guy was elite, magnificent, solid. He did whatever he had to do and kept the Cubs in the game, even with errors behind him.
Exactly. He battled through errors. First postseason start. You couldn't look better on your first postseason start. Putting it where he wanted, mix it up, curveball looked great, change up, and this guy was fully in control during the game today.
No question about it. Here's Chris Bryant in the locker room.
About that, you just have to go about playing the game. Is that the way you approach it?
Yeah, we've been in this situation before, so approach it just like those times in the past. And it wasn't like we were, we didn't feel any urgency. There wasn't any like we have to do this today. It was just go out there and play, and it's kind of been the theme for us, and we've been doing that pretty good. So I don't know. I don't really know how we're going to feel tomorrow, but we feel pretty good now.
Playing the makes Ben's over such a good clutch hitter. You've seen it playoff round after playoff.
I think he just does a good job of, taking in information in his, first at bat, first 2 at bats, and then applying it to the rest of the game. And I think you see that a lot with veteran guys. I mean, he's been around for 10 years or so. I definitely learn a lot from just watching him in the box and how he takes balls and stuff like that. So he came up huge for us tonight.
There are plenty of Cubs fans, in knee-jerk fashion, why isn't Javi playing? How can Javi not be playing whenever he doesn't play? And then Zobrist makes an early error. So the hit aside, how happy were you for him to see him make that defensive play?
Yeah, that was huge. I mean, that probably could have turned the whole game around. Just to have Trey Turner on the bases. I mean, he steals a bag all the. I mean, it's impossible to throw him out. So it's huge to just keep him off the bases. And I think that was the leadoff guy too. Was he leading off? So that was. I mean, that could have turned the whole game around. So it was nice to see him make that play and come up with a big hit for us. So.
Do you recall a better play?
All right, our Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois Keys recap. All right, early success, and it was Quintana struggles first 2 innings. ERA bloated. Not tonight.
Not tonight. He got that confidence through those first 2 innings. He was putting it where he wanted to, getting those big hitters out, and that gave him confidence moving into each and every inning. After that, going 5 2/3 strong. That was a great start in your first postseason start.
All right, then your second key, you talked about getting some help for the big guys. You got that. Almora, Zobrist, they delivered.
You know, the middle guys do the bunch of the damage, but it helps out when guys around him do the job. Almora, Zobrist, Jason Hayward got a knock in there too. So when other guys are helping, the Cubs are a really tough team to beat.
All right, our fan poll results. We asked you, who was the MVP of Game 3 that the Cubs win 2-1? You had a number of interesting choices. How would you vote?
Quintana. That was a solid start. 5 2/3, 2 hits. You can't beat that right there.
Rizzo is your winner.
Wow, the game winner.
Yes, I would have gone Quintana as well. Rizzo, though, the winner, obviously, he gets the game-winning hit, and the Cubs have a 2-1 series lead. They've got Jake on the hill tomorrow. A pretty well-rested bullpen. I would think Carl Edwards has gone in all 3 games, but you've got some guys I think you can rely on. Montgomery didn't pitch tonight. Yeah. Dunsing hasn't pitched yet.
Wilson.
Absolutely. Justin Wilson's still out there, and he's on this roster for a reason. So we've got plenty of bullets out there that they can use if they need to. Hopefully Jake can give you, a good 6 innings.
Definitely. You don't want to go back to Washington because you know Strasburg's waiting for you. So if you're going to get it done tomorrow.
Yep, put him away tomorrow. Again, we'll be back with pre and post, so we'll let you know exactly what happens. If the Dodgers win, it's a night game. If the Dodgers lose, it's an afternoon game at 4:38 first pitch. We'll have a 3:30 pregame show for you. Thanks again for watching us here on NBC Sports Chicago. For David, Ryan Dempster, I'm David Kaplan. We'll see you tomorrow. Cubs win.
To be in the Express, you got to be able to ride. And I mean really ride.
Jack, wait.
Ma, I ain't no boy no more.
You don't know what's out there. It's dangerous.
This is something I have to do, Ma. But the job only calls to a man who has what it takes.
You take this, and you go west as fast as you can.
Think we'll see him again, Mom?
I reckon.
How can you be so sure?
Because west is that way.
I don't own the apartment building, but the right out front is mine. And everything inside, like my office, and my library, my studio. I worked hard to get all of it. And I just
want to be sure it's all protected with auto and renter's insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. That's why I'm here.
Here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
It's a scary time of year. Just wait until you get your heating bill. Call Feldco to replace your drafty old windows.
Call 866 for Feldco.
Right now at Feldco, get 2 windows for the price of 1 with no money down and no interest until 2019.
2 windows for the price of 1 ends soon. Call now. For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
The obesity amongst kids is very widespread. Some of these babies, they can't even run. It is heartbreaking to me.
Sugared soda is contributing to an epidemic of childhood obesity and diabetes.
These kids are facing adult problems. Around the church, you ought to see the dialysis centers that are popping up. The soda companies are targeting these kids, and we need to protect them. I can minister to these kids, but I can't cure them. The soda pop tax is the right thing to do.
Haberman here from Discover Wisconsin. Join me and the rest of the DW crew every week on this station for all things Wisconsin. Find us on social media right now for gorgeous photos and great Wisconsin giveaways. Speaking of free stuff, did you know every month we give away an exciting vacation? This month you could win a prize package to Sheboygan. Just visit discoverwisconsin.com for details. Saturday mornings at 10 on NBC Sports Chicago.
Go inside the lives of Chicago's biggest sports stars, only on Inside Look, presented by Cadillac. Your questions answered.
They got this big because basketball got this big.
Idols revisited.
They bring the atmosphere and the energy that you need throughout the grind of a season.
And the stories behind the headlines revealed.
Definitely a moment that I'll never forget.
Catch a new interview every month with Inside Look on NBC Sports Chicago. Visit NBCSportsChicago.com for listings. presented by IGS Energy.
Mitch Trubisky is a very good young player, but he is not a magic wand.
You only get nervous or feel pressure when you're not prepared for the situation or you don't know what you're doing.
I thought he made great strides, even through camp, being new to our offense. And just felt like, he was kind of ready for the next step.
He's a baller. We can't wait to see him Monday.
Make him uncomfortable. He's a rookie, so, he's turned down one receiver. So, hopefully we can put some pressure on him and make him, move in the pocket, make some bad decisions with the ball, and, get some turnovers.
He belongs. He's good enough, and, he just has to have confidence in himself because he's good enough.
I just told him, be you, man. He's a gamer. He's a ball player, man. When he gets out there, he sees things different. He gets under control. He makes plays. So that's something we look forward to seeing.
You have to always be available for him because you never know what he can do. He's very mobile. So just keeping the play alive is something that he's going to do, and we got to be ready for that.
He's extremely accurate. His ball flight is it's nice.
Physically, you feel great, young, fresh, nothing hurts, ready to go.
Yep, haven't gotten hit. There you go.
There he is, Mitch Trubisky, warming up along with Mike Glennon, getting ready to get his first regular season action, his first NFL action, his first Monday night action, and it's all happening here tonight. Welcome in to Bears Pregame Live, which is presented by IGS Energy. I'm Lawrence Holmes along with Jim Miller, Lance Briggs, Alex Brown. We got you covered for the next half hour, getting you ready for Bears Vikings. It's a big night, boys. Yeah. Mitch Trubisky gets his first start. What do you guys think about this?
Well, regardless, it's here, and obviously the Bears traded up for a reason. They love this guy. They believe in that he's going to be the future quarterback of the Chicago Bears. I'm excited for him. He showed the athleticism, he's got a quick release, but we'll see if his teammates can help him out. Both Lance and Alex been talking about how they raised their level of play for Kyle Orton. We'll see if his teammates can help him out tonight.
Could there be a better night for him to have a start, under the lights, Monday night, all eyes are on you. The stage is kind of set. I think in a lot of ways, a lot of the Chicago Bear fans, they, after the last performance said, we're thinking, hey, I don't want to see any more of these Bears. Right. But when you hear that Mitch Trubisky is going to start this game, now that starts to change the mind. Okay, I want to see a ray of hope, and I want to see a ray of hope in Mitch Trubisky tonight.
I tell you what, there's another way or another place or another spot where he could have started. It could have been his debut, because another first that he's going to see is a real defense, because that's what he's going to see tonight. He's going to see a serious Minnesota Vikings defense that if he gets put in third and long situations, then they're going to be coming after him. Those guys that he have on the edge, this is the real deal. You're not seeing second and third string players that are no longer in the league. What you're going to be seeing is a top-notch defense, and these guys are humming.
Mitchell, don't worry about what they do. Sometimes you get away from the numbers and you think about what other teams are doing and the defensive tackles and defensive ends that are rushing at you. Worry about what you do. All right, if we take care of what we do, we're going to be just fine.
Mitchell, Griffin, worry about where he's at, all right? Do me a favor.
Don't worry
about where he's at.
Something like this is not going to happen if you just stick to your game plan, all right?
I want to run something past you guys, all right? I'm looking at this quote now. This is Leonard Floyd talking to our very own John Moon Mullen. Says, you can call him the pretty boy assassin. He's got a lot of swagger. I like his swag. He'll beat you with a smile on his face. What Leonard Floyd said about Mitchell Trubisky. What's the best nickname you guys can remember for a teammate that you can say on the air?
Darkness. Darkness is.
I don't know, like something like that. That's crazy. I like it. I like it because, and the reason I like it is because who it's coming from. It's Leonard Floyd. You don't really hear him say a whole lot. So when he does say something, even though he's a young kid, I'm going to tend to listen to him a little bit. So I think that Mitch really believes that he deserves to be here, that he's ready. So I fully expect him to come out, be prepared. He had 10 days to prepare for this game. I think he's actually going to come out and do really well tonight. Hopefully the game plan isn't surrounded by him, though.
I'm going to trump Leonard Floyd. His nickname needs to be Money Mitch. All right? His nickname needs to be Money Mitch because quarterbacks are making a lot of money right now, and he could earn himself a lot of money at the end of the day if he plays the way the Bears think he can play.
And if he has the swagger and comes out, and this guy consistently comes out and wins for the Bears, then I guarantee you that swagger is going to carry on throughout this city. This city is going to latch on, and ride that bandwagon all the way through to Mitch Trubisky.
What does Jim mean by quarterbacks making a lot of money right now? Like he didn't make a lot of money. Come on.
League minimum. Back in the day.
You guys have all said that one of the most important things about what happens with Mitch Trubisky is the Bears' run game, right?
Yes.
Can it work? Can what Mitch wants to do work if he doesn't have a run game?
I personally don't think so. You know, you look at the Bears last year, go back to week 8. The Bears rushed for over 200 yards. He needs to have that type of effort tonight because everything else is going to stem off that. Whether Dow Logans mixes in the spread option, whether he puts Tariq Cohen in the Wildcat. I think all these things can really spawn off of the running game if the Bears are effective in doing it. And granted, you know, Minnesota, I think they're ranked 3rd overall in stopping the run, but they've got to go back to last year. Where the Bears pounded Minnesota Vikings a year ago was on this home turf with Jordan Howard. So it all stems from that, I got to believe.
You also don't have a 6'4", 6'2" receiver on each side that if anything goes wrong, you can just throw the thing up and let them go get it. That they're catching the ball consistently. I think if that was the case, you know, maybe Mike Glennon might still be starting. Maybe Trubisky might be starting earlier, you know, than that. But you don't have that consistency. So if you don't run the ball, if you don't establish the run, you're in trouble.
Let's take it a step further and say, well, what really needs to happen is the defense needs to really play well. Because if this game gets out of hand and Bradford plays like he played in that last game that we saw Bradford play, where they put up a lot of points, the offense was going down the field for Minnesota, nobody could cover Thielen, nobody could cover Diggs. If it gets to that, and now you're down 3 possessions, now you're going to have to throw the ball. So I think it has to fall on the defense to keep this game close so we can keep running the football.
When you look at the Bears' run game and the success they had last year against the Vikings, I would imagine it gives everyone who's putting together the game plan a lot of hope for what they might be able to do. With a good run game, how does that slow things down for a quarterback?
Well, I think the Bears still, their formula hasn't changed for them. You know, they don't want to get into a 30-point shootout. I think they want to go into this game, 20-17, something like that, where it's close in the end, where they can wear Minnesota down at the end of a ball game. And Mitch will be a part of that, obviously with the play action, the bootlegs. He just needs to be an influence. But the Bears don't want him chucking the ball 40 times in this game. Not for his rookie start. Granted, it's here at home, but it's against a tough defense that already has 3 interceptions on the season. I think it's about running the football and doing the things he does well, spawned off of that Bears running game.
You want to hear this crowd absolutely go nuts. Let it be a 30-point. Let it get in one of those 30-point shootouts, and Trubisky comes out on top. I'd love to see it, but I don't think that's the right formula to win. So I'm right there with Jim on this one.
I mean, think of his completions. If his first completed first down, this crowd's going to go wild.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's going to go
wild. And the best thing is, if he can do this consistently, if he can keep drives going, extending drives, he will keep this crowd going crazy.
Yes. Agreed.
There's a lot for us to discuss tonight when it comes to a guy making a start. Do you guys remember your first NFL game?
Yeah,
what was it like?
For me, it was a tough one because we were down in Jacksonville. I mentioned it was like 140 heat index. Half my team was dropping out. Absolutely brutal. It's something that I'll never forget, and I still don't forget to this day.
Ooh. We were about an hour and a half away from where I grew up in San Francisco, and Cordell Stewart had his first start. We got beat 49-7.
Brutal.
Yeah, they put me in at the end of the game. I'm pretty sure it was 3rd and short. I was supposed to take on. I was supposed to be ready for the fake. What is it called? The fake handoff toss.
Yeah.
Toss away.
Yep.
And of course, I was undisciplined, and they gave it to Kevin Barlow. He got a first down on the left side. They brought me right back out.
Yeah, for sure. My first one was actually against Minnesota. In Minnesota. So my very first game I didn't dress, so I was like really at the bottom of the tank. And then that first start came against Minnesota later in the year when we played them, and actually had a decent game. So I didn't get a sack, but I was hitting the quarterback, Dante Culpepper was on the run. You know, I had him. So, but hey, we won, so it was great.
We got more to discuss, guys. Coming up a little bit later on Bears Pregame Live, brought to you by IGS Energy, as the guys get visited by all sorts of people. Deshaun Watson is already lighting it up for the Texans.
It's not professional.
They're working. These two are working.
It's not professional.
These guys are talking with Izzy for sure. But obviously, people are going to be looking at what Deshaun Watson has done for the Texans so far, and they're going to be comparing it. Is it fair to compare Watson and Trubisky? Plus, how Trubisky's performance factors into the futures of John Fox and Ryan Pace. And don't forget, even though we're on the road, we still want to thank the folks over at Aurelio's for serving up pizza for the guys, because we will be watching from the studio. The buttery crust, the sauce, the incredible ingredients.
We need the sauce.
Big thanks to Aurelio's. More Bears Pregame Live brought to you by IGS Energy, coming up after a quick timeout.
This is the original light beer. And 40 years later, we still brew it the same way. Because when you get something right, you don't mess with it. Miller Lite. Hold true.
I don't own the apartment building, but the right out front is mine. And everything inside, like my office, and my library, my studio. I worked hard to get all of it. And I just
want to be sure it's all protected with auto and renter's insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. That's why I'm here.
Here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
For over 25 years, IGS Energy has been empowering consumers to make energy choices that fit their needs. From natural gas to electricity to home warranty products, the IGS family of companies has been providing innovative solutions to consumers through predictable rates and unparalleled customer service. We are also committed to making an impact in the areas where we live and work. We are IGS Energy.
Proud partner of the Chicago Bears.
Harvest the savings now during Menards Oktoberfest sale. Get advanced protection and one-coat coverage with Pittsburgh Paramount Paint. It's a super premium interior paint and primer in one. Save $10 a gallon. Other finishes are also on sale. Get incredible savings now on project packs from Hickory Hardware. Buy one 10-pack of select cabinet knobs or pulls and get a second one of equal or lesser value free. Now, during Menards Oktoberfest sale.
Save big money at Menards.
Go long. Just kidding. Did you hear DirecTV's latest deal? It's cheap and gets you all the big games.
It starts at $60 a month, but jumps to over $100 after 3 months.
Cool. I think.
And jumps again to over $150 after a year. And ends up costing over $3,500 over 2 years.
You're cleaning that up.
Don't get caught off guard by DirecTV. Get the best with Xfinity.
In 1975, we brewed the original light beer with more taste and only 96 calories. We think that's worth celebrating. Miller Lite, back in the original bottle.
Accept the Challenge is brought to you by Prudential. Bring your challenges.
Vikings defensive end Everson Griffin will certainly present a challenge for the Bears offensive line and Mitch Trubisky in his NFL debut. Griffin already has 5 sacks in just 4 games. We're out here on the field in Soldier Field, and so is our guy, JJ Stankovitz, who covers the Bears for us every day at NBC Sports Chicago. JJ with our IGS Energy Press Pass on guess who? Mitch Trubisky.
There was a genuine sense of excitement inside Hallis Hall this week, and we can see Mitchell Trubisky's physical traits, the arm strength, the mobility. What we can't necessarily see is how he is behind the scenes. So listening to some of Trubisky's teammates talk about him was really interesting. Marcus Wheaton said Trubisky's relaxed running the offense. Kendall Wright said he's got a great command of the huddle. Eddie Jackson said he's got that leadership instinct. Just listening to his teammates talk about him, this is a team that's fully behind Mitchell Trubisky in his first career start. Mitchell Trubisky as well, he's not short on confidence. Listening to him during his media briefing this week, he's a guy who's very confident he's going to be able to come out and perform well on Monday night.
JJ, thank you very much. We appreciate the report. Guys, Deshaun Watson has had some marvelous moments so far this season. is it fair to compare Money Mitch to Deshaun Watson?
I personally don't think so. It's not an apples-to-apples comparison. When you look at Deshaun Watson, he comes with a lot more starts at Clemson. He's got, he's played on the biggest stage twice and really carved up the best defense in the country 2 years in a row in a national championship contest. Plus, look who he's throwing to. DeAndre Hopkins, they got back Will Fuller. I just think the surrounding cast is a much better, and that kid plays great under pressure. I just think to make that comparison, you're not comparing apples to apples. They're two different guys. No rookie is the same.
I don't. I disagree. I think that because they were drafted in the same class, because the Bears had an opportunity to take Deshaun Watson, and instead they not only took Trubisky, they traded up to get Trubisky, saying that he was their guy, and now you see how well he's playing. I think
13 games.
In Trubisky's mind, I think he will feel that pressure of playing well, because regardless, like it or not, he will be compared to what Deshaun Watson does down in Houston.
13 games, 13 college games.
But, okay, yes.
That's his resume.
That being said, but then you look over and you look at what Deshaun Watson did in college. Why on earth would the Bears not take Deshaun Watson when you compare the resume?
Because they said he was inaccurate. He wasn't accurate enough.
Looks pretty accurate to me. You look pretty accurate to me. I don't know.
Well, we look at Mitch Trubisky, and it's kind of like a new era of Bears football. How does he have to perform to impact the job security of John Fox and Ryan Pace?
Well, I think Bears fans, and that's why they drafted him, he's an exciting player, and they want him to be a playmaker. He's going to make his mistakes. Even Deshaun Watson, he's made his share of mistakes. Yep. Granted, he had 4 touchdowns in their loss yesterday, but he had some late-game comebacks and drives. Every rep is going to matter. And I think, as Alex said, you see the talent, you see the excitement he brings. I mean, think about it. J.J. Watt goes down, everybody's still talking about Deshaun Watson. They lost 2 key players, but yet they're talking about the excitement of their quarterback, and I think that's what the Bears are hoping for here in Chicago.
There's only one stat that Mitchell Trubisky can acquire or help acquire that will help keep John Fox and Pace's job, and that's wins in the win column. If he produces, him and the team produces, they produce wins on the starts that he gets starting tonight, then those are the things that's the one main stat that will keep people's jobs.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything he can do to keep Coach Fox's job. Honestly, I really don't. Unless anything short of going to the playoffs and actually winning a playoff game, I don't see it happening. But I think Coach Pace or Ryan Pace, I think he's fine. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I think in the next draft or two, if he goes out and he drafts a Peanut Tillman, he drafts another Lance Briggs and a Hester, I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't care what Trubisky does. So it's not like this is his last year. This very well could be Coach Fox's last year.
So how does Fox approach this then? Because he's trying to win games. I mean, I understand that. He's coaching for right now. He's not necessarily worried about the future of the Bears, especially considering he might not be a part of it.
Well, I think John Fox is relying on his pass now. He changed his whole offense for Tim Tebow. I mean, he honestly did that, and they started to win games. I believe one of them was against the Chicago Bears. Marion Barber.
We got Tebow.
I wasn't here.
But when you look at that, that's what I think. You're going to see a change in the offense to do what? Provide a spark. Provide hope that Lance talked about. Provide excitement for the Bears fans to be excited about the future of this team at one of the most critical positions on the football field.
They just what Trubisky could do tonight is make some plays. Just make a few plays. Show that they did something. What they did right in the draft and trading up and getting him. The reason it was right is because he has that potential. Yeah, he's still young. He's still got a lot of room to grow. But to show that promise, my gosh, I think it would go a long way, because we ain't had a quarterback here since 2002. When we had old Jimmy.
We've had a lot of quarterbacks.
We actually had a lot of quarterbacks. Yes.
And don't worry, on the broadcast tonight, you'll see exactly how many quarterbacks have been here and how long it's been since people felt like there's been a franchise quarterback. They'll roll all of those names for you, I'm sure, tonight. So I asked you guys in pre, I didn't get Jim's thoughts about this. Dowell Loggins and his play calling how can he call the most efficient game for Trubisky?
Well, I think for him, one has got to focus early in the game, call plays to settle him down. Okay, the kid's going to be juiced up. It's his first NFL start here at home. There's a lot of excitement, so call a lot of plays to calm him down a little bit. Get some easy completions. Get him involved with what he does best, which is use his legs and athleticism. So whether it's bootleg nakeds, I mentioned the spread option. I think even if you mix in a couple of things with Tariq Cohen in terms of the Wildcat, and then a couple of trick plays as well, because what does Mitch have? He's got a big arm. I mean, let's face it, if you get him out of the pocket on, say, a waggle play, and just tell him to launch it, just let it go, let it fly, whether it's Bellamy or Tariq Cohen on a go route, just let it rip, and it could be as good as a punt if it gets picked off. But this get him going early and settle him down.
This is a tough defense. I say worry about what you're doing, but at the same time, this isn't preseason.
Right.
This isn't preseason.
Right.
Xavier Rhodes is on one of those sides. If you're getting pressure up front and that ball's coming out on a route, on a window that you think you can hit, at the NFL level, these windows are extremely small. And at any time, one of those guys is going to step in front of it on a throw that you think you could cut in, or you could slice in there. And one of those guys is going to take that, not only going to intercept that, but they're going to take that back to the house. So I think simplify it, make the easy reads, make the easy throws in the beginning, and then work into it.
I think he has to use his athleticism. That's what he's going to have to do. When that first read isn't there, when that second read isn't there, he got to get out of there because those guys are coming. There's a reason they're in the top in the league in sacks, because they are coming after you. So, I mean, get 4 yards and get on the ground.
If he makes a first read and a second read, it's probably over by then.
That's when he needs to push up in the pocket. He has to push up in the pocket.
Well, don't worry. We're going to talk about that. We've got more to come here on Bears Pregame Live, brought to you by IGS Energy. Coming up, we've been talking a lot about Money Mitch. We need to talk a little bit about the defense, and luckily, we've got a couple of defensive gurus here that can help us figure out how they're going to get this done with a guy suspended and a bunch of guys on IR. That's coming up on Bears Pregame Live, brought to you by IGS Energy.
Posting hashtag yeehaw.
Hashtag I have no signal and I still can't post out here.
Whoa, look out, coming through.
Hey, Thomas.
Howdy there, Joy. See, Joy's got the new iPhone with Verizon Unlimited.
I bet I do. Best phone, best network.
America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network. She can post out here like she does in the city.
Hey, 12 likes. What?
Likes won't get you diddly around these parts. Yeah!
When you really, really want the best, get the new iPhone on the Best Unlimited, with plans starting at $40 per line for 4 lines.
Prudential asked these couples, how much money do you think you'll need in retirement? Then we found out how many years that money would last them.
How many do you think will keep...
Oh, stop. You're gonna leave me back here at year 9? How did this happen?
It turned out a lot of people fell short of even the average length of retirement.
We have to think about not when we expect to live to, but when we could live to.
Let's plan for income that lasts all our years in retirement.
Prudential, bring your challenges.
I am fed up with this huge new beverage tax. We're being taxed out of Cook County. I'm a single parent. I can't afford this tax. I have to drive to Indiana to buy beverages. That's ridiculous. Who does that? I find it very disheartening for a politician to tell me what types of drinks my family should drink. I'm the head of my household. I make those decisions. If the Cook County Board does not repeal this huge beverage tax, we'll remember it. Repeal this tax now.
P is for privileges. O is for ordinarily I wouldn't. L is for layers of luxury. A is for all the way back. R is for read my mind. And I can't see a thing. S, see you in the morning. Polaris from United.
Harvest the savings now during Menards Oktoberfest sale. Keep your water softener running at its peak performance with Morton Rust Defense water softener pellets. They help improve water taste and prevent rust stains and scale. A 40-pound bag is just $5.98. Clean up with big savings on Tide Pods HE laundry detergent. Now with Child Guard packaging, just $4.29. This 12-pack of Bounty basic paper towels is $9.99. Now during Menards Oktoberfest sale.
Save big money at Menards.
What's up, man?
Let's look at State Farm most valuable possession of the game. Stephon Diggs is enjoying a breakout year in Minnesota. 22 catches for almost 400 yards, and Diggs already has 4 touchdowns this season. He had just 7 in his career entering 2017. Welcome back to Bears Pregame Live, presented by IGS Energy. Let's talk about the Bears defense. You've got Danny Trevathan gone. You've got Willie Young on IR. How do the Bears defend this Vikings offense?
I believe this is a coverage game for the Bears. The secondary's got to hold up extremely effectively and test Sam Bradford's leg. All right, he's coming off the bone bruise. Move him off his mark. It causes him to be an inaccurate passer, because if he's able to sit in there, he's extremely accurate and could carve up this Bears secondary that still is yet to record an interception. Your thoughts, Lance?
You know, Sam Bradford wasn't very mobile even before the injury, and I think this plays to the Bears' defensive strengths. With guys being injured, Willie Young out, Danny Trevathan out, and you're plugging different guys in, an immobile quarterback, tonight, quarterback hits are going to be almost as important as sacks. Get pressure, get to him, get hits, and it'll affect the game.
I think we're all on the same page here as far as making the quarterback uncomfortable. It's not about, when you look at that final stat, it's not going to be about sacks. I think it's going to be about pressure, the pressure you get on the quarterback. If you can hit him, make him uncomfortable, then I think the Bears have a chance, because I do believe Sam Bradford, when pressured, will give you an opportunity to make some plays. You got to hit him.
Let's stay down there and let's talk predictions now.
Yep.
AB, what do you think is going to happen tonight?
Man, I think it's gonna be a tough game. I don't think Trubisky is quite ready to lead against a defense like this. I think it'll be a low-scoring game, but I got the Bears losing 21-10. But I think he does make some really good plays in the game.
I say Vikings 20-17.
If the Bears run the football, they got a great shot. Trubisky, just be poised, spark your team. Maybe that could be enough to get him over the hump.
We shall see, and know that we're going to be back at halftime. Jim and I are going to break the whole thing down for you at half, and we appreciate you sticking with us. We know this has been a crazy sports day in Chicago, and we appreciate you watching all of it happen with us. We'll also have the post game for you as well, and we'll break down Mitch Trubisky's first start in the NFL. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you at halftime.
Yeah, boy.
It's Ford SUV season, so be ready with features designed to detect what they don't.
Stop. Sorry.
It's okay. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's most trusted brand of SUVs. During SUV season, get $4,800 cash back on Explorer, $4,500 on Edge, or $4,250 on Escape. That's big cash back